Thank you. I'm always tempted when I follow lawyers who speak who have good jokes to tell one of my own, which was being in a room with about 300 lawyers, and I was giving a speech about technology, and I thought and thought and thought, since we all know there are so many good jokes about lawyers, right? Whatever was I going to say to them? So I opened my remarks by saying, 300 lawyers, one technologist, the odds are about even. So I used that comment to open my description of what we did in the Policy Slam. What we wanted to do was to examine in a very quick and innovative fashion whether there are ideas and issues and concerns that are emerging that will affect the internet and internet governance that haven't yet been thought about, that may be being caused by innovation in technology. And we also considered whether there are issues that are presently being considered in internet governance that aren't being well enough addressed or that circumstances have changed. We heard from, and I will say I was incredibly impressed by the opportunity to participate in this and want to thank everyone who came and participated. We had 11 proposals, and we didn't even have a timer, but people stuck to the 3 minutes, so I was really amazed by how well it went. We boiled ourselves down, so to speak, or up, to 3 ideas, and remembered that our purpose was to come up with ideas that we will put into our report and take forward to the IGF in Istanbul and be raising at the Emerging Issues session in Istanbul. So we really come up with 3, and we did that by merging 2. Let me describe them. 2 may be viewed as being somewhat related, and that is that one of our presenters noted that we presently, in the internet governance world, are not taking advantage of the scientists and engineers. And I think he particularly used the example of electrical engineers. But really, the engineers, innovators, scientists who are continuing to invent the kinds of capability that we all look at today around our lives and count on to really change our lives, make our lives better. But we are not presently including those folks in the internet governance debates or in the internet governance examination of solutions. That was really a aha moment for me because I started thinking about where the internet came from and the science, really, and engineering that went into creating the base of the internet and continues to evolve how we're using the internet. So one of the things that we will take forward is the big idea of how we reach into that community and bring them into internet governance. And I will just say, through work I do at the Commission on Science and Technology for Development, that many of the developing countries have engineers and scientists that would really welcome the opportunity to become engaged in this way. It will also make us a lot smarter in the policy discussions we have at the IGF, I suspect. The second point is a point that is taking an issue that exists today and elaborating it, and that is thinking about the fact that as the internet has become and is becoming so much more broadly distributed and so much better incorporated into our daily lives, what are we doing about increasing the awareness and the understanding of the users to create a kind of a baseline understanding, a more democratic base of understanding of the users of the internet so that they are engaging in internet governance topics and they're also talking to their elected and appointed officials. That's something that's been raised in many of the existing fora, the IGF itself, at ICANN, but we picked that up as something that we want to take further and to really kind of think of it as mainstreaming awareness. Not that we're just creating awareness by telling a horror story, but by educating people about the benefits of getting engaged in internet governance and owning and contributing to some of the internet governance discussions and decisions. Then the third one is driven really by innovations in technology, and this is the one where we merged two areas. We discussed, one of our presenters raised the question that we talk about the internet as a tool for freedom of expression and free flow of information, but we don't always marry that with an understanding of the internet as a tool for enabling freedom of expression, freedom of association that is coupled with that freedom of expression or freedom of access to information. Yet we all intuitively know that the internet is a major tool for how people can increase their dialogue with each other and their association with other people. So we thought that bringing those concepts more closely together in a dialogue in the internet governance would be a good thing to do. We are, however, sort of tying that together with the discussion about, since technology now enables unique forms of anonymity, including the ability to have multiple identities online, how do you also address the idea that there may be both benefits and risk to this issue of having multiple identities online or having complete anonymity online? That the issue may vary if you're talking about an economic issue, but also there are risks associated with citizens feeling that the identities that they have online are at risk or exposure. So it's a very complicated topic, and we thought we would try to bring that into the IGF as well. There are workshops already underway at IGF that we think this last topic in particular will fit into.
Thank you. And next up to discuss the Human Rights and Internet Governance panel, we have Carolina Rossini from Public Knowledge.